That's dumb.
This is just dumb. So dumb it's brilliant.
It's not brilliant.
No, it's just dumb. Well, welcome to a very special episode of 3.5 Gentlemen, the podcast, where 3 of the 4 hosts provide a refined and intellectual analysis of movies from our private collections, and one of us tries desperately to keep up. We'll let you decide which host is which, but for now, my name is Sean, and with me, as always, are my co-detectives, Jeremiah.
Dong.
That's a good one.
Eddie.
Dude, don't dance with pineapple.
And Brandon.
Shitballs. I like that one.
That's it.
I liked it. It was better. It was a good effort. I liked it.
He participated. He participated.
I did.
That's good.
I actually quoted it. I'm excited.
With season 4, we have returned to form from season 1, where we are handpicking movies that we just want to talk about. However, tonight we're going to be taking a look at a new release from the very end of 2022. It's on Netflix, right, guys?
Yep, Netflix.
It is indeed.
As with every review we give, our goal is to answer one simple question. How many drinks does it take to get through the film, or in this case, a special we just watched? Now, at the end of the podcast, we'll rate the movies or series based on a scale of 0 to 5. 0 being a perfect film that you can watch it stone cold sober, and 5 being sort of the film that makes you want to incinerate your mansion and your precious artwork in a fiery inferno. Double mother effers right there.
With
Middle fingers.
With that, what movie do we have being solved this evening, tonight, gentlemen?
So punk rock.
So tonight we have the Rian Johnson directed follow-up sequel to 2019's Whodunit? Knives Out. 2022's Glass Onion follows private detective Benoit Blanc, the Southern Bayou's response to Sherlock Holmes when he travels to a Grecian island where 5 frenemies gather at the mansion of Miles Braun, a recluse genius? Question mark. At the gathering, old secrets get uncovered as backs start getting stabbed. The phenomenal cast of Glass Onion is led by Daniel Craig, and Craig is joined by Edward Norton, Kate Hudson, Janelle Monáe, Catherine Hahn, and many, many more great actors, including Hugh Grant. The film has an IMDb rating of 7.4 out of 10 and has a critic score of 93%.
Hugh Grant was where?
Hugh
Grant was Benoit Blanc's lover.
Daniel Craig.
He was.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he was.
Yep. He was there for 30 seconds.
The people that they got in this film to just do little cameos was fucking amazing.
Cameos. Yep.
Well, this is
By the way,
shout out to my girl, R.I.P. here, Angela Lansbury. This was her last on-screen performance, and I have to tell you, she was magnificent as always. So raise one up to Angela Lansbury. So
raise one up and pour one out. For sure.
She wrote.
But I mean, not only that, you got Ethan Hawke was in it. You had Yo-Yo Ma. Joseph Gordon-Levitt was the dong. Did you know that?
Yep.
He was the guy who said dong. So anyway,
Was he really?
Yeah, he was. So before Sean interrupted, this has an audience score of 93% on Rotten Tomatoes. Boom.
Hey, Brandon, what about the one guy? What's his name? Noah Segan. You know who I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
He was
Daryl.
He's in every fucking Rian Johnson movie. Back all the way from Brick and shit.
Well, as with every movie
Brick
review,
is a
we
damn
try to
good
pair
movie.
our selection with a drink that we feel reflects the film. So, Ed, why don't you take us through the cocktail that we will be enjoying this evening?
So tonight, guys, we're making the drink heavily inspired by the characters and events of Glass Onion. We have the pineapple kombucha. Simply pour some kombucha in the glass and add a shot of vodka. Make sure you pour in some pineapple juice to get the little throw. But just make sure you aren't allergic to pineapple, all right? Or else...
Eddie, this is not Jared Leto's hard kombucha.
I mean, really, and it should have some of Jeremy Renner's hot sauce that you put a little in.
Jeremy Renner. I wanted that. I hope that's a real thing. I was hoping that was a real thing. I looked for it. I was like, it's not real.
Okay, so this is a very specific cocktail to this specific movie. And as someone who absolutely hates kombucha. So,
I don't like kombucha, bro.
Kombucha is disgusting. So anyway,
kombucha cleans you out
you better
inside
be
and out.
prepared
I'm
for
just
this
saying,
cocktail. It might take some time.
I got more pineapple. I got extra pineapple in mine.
All right, let's
Yeah, you do.
let's start. Oh God, let's start with the movie itself, and I think it's very important to note that Knives Out, I thought, was absolutely a fantastic introduction into the world of Benoit Blanc, and to get a second one, I think, is a little bit of a treat for us, especially during COVID, where the filming took place kind of at the end of COVID, and I think it was really cool to get all these people together.
I actually love the intro of this film. I mean, did you think it was kind of a more of like a clever way of like the invitation? But I have to say, the best scene for me is when Daniel Craig's playing Among Us with Jill Lansbury
And Kareem.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and then I think he's playing with who's the other
Stephen
two
Sondheim.
people? Yeah, Stephen Sondheim.
Stephen Sondheim.
Serena Williams. I think
And,
Serena Williams.
No,
Natasha Leon was one
right.
of the,
Natasha Leon was the
Leon,
third one.
yeah.
Yeah.
which is really cool because Steven, if you don't know, like he did compose and did all the lyrics and music for Demon Barber and the Fleet Street, but he also wrote this movie from 1973, which is called The Last of Sheila, which is kind of like really influenced for this type of movie what Rian Johnson did for Glass Onion, which is pretty cool, about a bunch of people going to a yacht and finding a mystery type of a kill. So it's pretty cool.
So, and I will say
Little
that
throwback.
it had a lot of Agatha Christie. It had a lot of Death on the Nile vibes going into it, where you have, kind of crazy characters. You have Dave Bautista, who, is just larger than life in most of the roles, but this one was particularly good. His girlfriend, you've got Kate Hudson, who didn't even look like Kate Hudson to me. She looks completely different.
She was funny.
Yeah, she was fantastic. Yeah. And then you've got who else you got? You got Edward Norton, obviously, and then who else was there? There was like
Janelle
Monáe.
You have Catherine Hahn. Yeah.
And I was a little upset not that we didn't get to see Catherine Hahn's husband, because in the movie, I think his name is something Dallas. He is a really good he's a really good actor, and he blends.
You get him a little bit,
but you didn't get him a lot. But you really do get to see him in all these other roles. He blends into whatever movie or TV show he's in, and he becomes like these different types of characters. I mean, he's like the epitome of a supporting actor, where he just kind of blends in, and he's just fantastic.
Yeah. Guys, let me ask you something. Like Hannah was like watching this, and she was like, "Oh my god!" Like the beginning of this movie reminds me of Agatha Christie and Then We're None, when they all go in a boat, they go in the island, and you watch Dave actually die the same way as the first person in the book die by drinking something, and that's how the mystery goes. But also, Rian Johnson also kind of steals a lot of things she's saying from like Knives Out, because it has like that vibe of Adele by Innocence. Do you feel like he steals a lot from Agatha Christie in these movies?
Yes.
I do.
Here's the thing. I think that in the mid 20th century, the whodunits was really kind of the driving mystery film, and we loved the mystery back in the mid 20th century. And I feel like over the last really 40 years, 50 years, nobody really gives a shit about murder mysteries as much. Right now, it's more about murder revenge maybe, but not so much the mystery. And I think that Rian Johnson, he's not really kind of stealing from Agatha Christie as much as he's stealing from just the genre, the style, the type. You got Sherlock Holmes, you got the detective, and I mean, yeah, it's definitely Agatha Christie, but that's because Agatha Christie was playing in they're playing the same sport, so they're playing the same ballpark. But I think that what Rian Johnson does that's really, really interesting is that he kind of infects the stale whodunit genre with a lot of kind of newness. And Sean, I don't know, you are more of the mystery.
I'm gonna disagree with you slightly, yeah, because I've read all 50 some on Hercule Poirot books. He is perhaps
that's not a lie,
the greatest detective of all time.
Folks.
No, but these what Rian Johnson stole from Agatha Christie, which he's blatantly stole, is the introduction of these over-the-top characters. So if you look, and that's how every Agatha Christie story starts, is you're introduced to the millionaire, the heiress, and they all have these secrets. And as you go through, those secrets are revealed, the onion is peeled back, and you find out that the story is not about what you think it's about. It's not about the illicit affair, or it's not about, the murder of of Roger Ackroyd is not about Roger Ackroyd even. It's about so many other things. And so as you peel back the layers, you really get the true nature of the characters, and what you thought to be the character's characteristics turn out not to be the character's characteristics. And that's what I was most interested in this film to see, is I was waiting for the turn. I was waiting for the moment where all of these characters that were, to me, just disgusting and hateful, right? So I'm watching this movie. He's an influencer who says some pretty nasty things on his little Twitter feed or whatever you want to call it, or his Twitch feed.
Dave, you're talking about Dave,
Bautista,
right?
was he was kind of disgusting.
Duke,
and then you have kind of their whole lifestyle. I found a little disgusting. You've got Kate Hudson, who's obviously being offensive to the Jewish community. You've got and she's an influencer, quote unquote disruptor. You've got all these people who are on their face kind of disgusting.
Yeah.
So when they come to this island, I was waiting for the turn. I was waiting to know what actually drives all these characters. What is the history of all these characters? It's like when you find out that Marilyn Monroe's, real name is Norma Jean. That's the kind of revelation that I was looking for. And I got it. I thought this movie did a very good job of doing that.
You also had what was it, Lionel, and who's Catherine play, Claire, right? So they're more, I think they're just more yes people. Like they're just trying to get their little part of the pie, and they're along for the ride. I don't think they did anything bad officially yet. I mean, they're part of stuff bad.
They absolutely did horrible, terrible things.
They sold their soul.
Yeah.
They sold their soul,
Yeah.
but they're not as bad as the first other two. I think Dave Bautista and Kate Hudson are worse. That's why
they basically sold a technology that was going to literally kill everyone. So
that's what Lionel said. He said no to it. He's like Lionel never gave the okay for it.
Well, yeah, and then you find out later that he actually kind of did.
Here's what I think Ed is saying.
I thought he did it.
Here's what I think Ed is saying. If you're saying this, Ed, then I support you. But if you're not saying this, then fuck you, buddy. But what I think you're saying is that they show some kind of remorse and try to make themselves better in the present to make up for the problems of the past.
I think that's exactly that's what I'm feeling.
Okay, yeah,
yes,
yeah. So I buy that. I buy that. They're trying to redeem.
They see what they've done wrong. They're trying to exactly.
They're trying to
redeem.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay, in that
Kate
case,
Hudson
Ed, I back
and
you
Dave Bautista, they don't give a fuck.
Right.
Yeah. Well, Kate Hudson's character is over the top, idiotic, and to me at times really, really frustrating. But I think she plays the ditzy character. She plays the character fantastic. And I don't know. I'm going to say something that's probably going to get a lot of hate mail from you guys. I don't know what it is, but I can't stand Dave Bautista as an actor. I just cannot stand him. He's just one of those guys. I think
he's hit and miss. I think he's hit and miss. I think he hit in this movie for a lot of people. For me, I think he's wonderful in Guardians of the Galaxy. I think that's his best role ever. But I didn't dislike him in this, but he didn't really shine for me. Like I think Kate Hudson shone. I think Edward Norton shone out. I think, and forgive me, I can't remember his name. He was the scientist. I thought he was. I've never seen him.
Lionel. Yeah, he's Leslie Odom Jr.
Yeah.
Oh, no! Hold on.
From Hamilton. Yeah.
That was fucking Leslie Odom Jr. No way.
Yeah, from Hamilton.
Here I am being an idiot, thinking I've never seen him before because he looks so different, had such a different accent. That dude's a great actor.
Yes, he is.
How about Andy Janelle Monet?
Yeah. Monet seriously she rocked this fucking movie, dude. I don't know why you guys. I saw this movie not once, but like 3 times, and when you watch it the second time, it's so much enjoyable that you get to see all the hints and clues of all these of everything that's getting played out.
Yeah.
I
love films.
And I will say it's the same as reading the novels again, the Hercule Poirot novels.
Mm-hmm.
You spend half the novel going, "What the fuck is going on? Why is this taking so long to get to something?" And then all of a sudden it gets there, and it's like, "No, go back! I want it to last longer."
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So okay. So I got 2 things. I know we haven't really covered it, but I feel like we no longer just kind of go through it chronologically. But first off, I got to ask you guys question on: did you see the reveal coming as far as who it was that was the murderer? Do we want to talk about that now, or do we want to wait?
We can talk about that right now because
we talk about now and later. I don't think so. I didn't see it coming.
So I did because I feel like Norton
saw it coming.
I did because I feel like Norton is kind of typecast at this point to just be like the guy.
So there was a couple things that I was surprised about, and a couple things that I saw coming. Number one, I saw Edward Norton being the villain for 3 reasons, and it was really early in the movie. The first one was when we found out that he didn't actually make the puzzle box, and that's when I started to go, well, he's the brilliant, like, genius guy. It's so Miles. It's all they keep saying, oh my God, Miles has this mystique. And in the first freaking like 15 minutes, the first conversation with Benoit Blanc, he goes, no, my guy only made like 3 of them or four of them, one prototype, and then got them out to the people. And I'm like, well, yeah. When do you mean your guy? And then I was like, is there a guy behind the scenes? Is Miles not really Miles? Is Miles like a front for someone else?
Yeah.
And I went down that rabbit hole a little bit. Yeah. And then when he was playing Paul McCartney's guitar, the Beatles, because I love that song so much. And Paul McCartney plays that guitar left-handed. And I swear to God, I love this. And I'm like, why is he playing it right-handed? Maybe he's playing it upside down. So I was just like, that was one of the things that bothered me.
Yeah.
And apparently a lot of people caught that one. And I'm like, it pissed me off because I was like, that's Paul McCartney. If that's really Paul McCartney's guitar and you're playing Blackbird, literally one of my favorite songs of all time, why are you playing it right-handed?
Yeah. So he's a fake. He's a fake, right? I mean,
no,
at the
he's
very
an
end.
idiot.
I didn't. He's pretending to be the guy, but he's an idiot. He's a fake.
I'm just gonna let you know, like, I was watching with Hannah, and when he fucking said that word, and I kid you not, he goes, "Imbreviate."
Yeah.
Hannah goes and looks at me. She's like, "That doesn't make sense. Yeah. That's not a fucking word." I'm like, here, I have no idea what she's talking about. Like, what are you talking about? Because I don't know. I'm not a fucking editor that edit medical books. And she's like, "That's not a word, dude."
There was a couple times I was like,
"Oh, he's full of shit."
And when he said, yeah.
Yeah,
uh-huh.
Like when he said that, and when he finally sees Andy for the first time, you see him. There's 2 different reactions. You see him like, "Oh shit, you're here," and the second time you see it, you're like, "Oh shit, you're supposed to be dead." It's a really good fucking way to see how it's a real cool way how he approached that.
And that was the turn I think that really set the movie off and changed it for me, because in the first, I would say until that turn, I was like, this is kind of stupid. Like, this is kind of a stupid fucking movie.
Yes. Go ahead. Yeah.
Brandon,
So for me, it was it was when Benoit figures out the murder mystery 3 seconds after he's supposed to get shot or whatever. To me, I was going the same thing. I was going, I don't like this because I really like Knives Out. I'm going to talk about this more later with my scoring, but I really like Knives Out. I thought Knives Out was great, and then this beginning. It just, to me, it was stupid. Everybody, they're figuring out these clues together. Like, I thought it was kind of cool that they're doing it together, but at the same time, I'm like, this is dumb. Then you got Dave Bautista's mom who's answering all these questions, and it's not funny to me. It's so stupid. And then all of a sudden, Benoit Blanc, he's just like, okay, by the way, it was her, and this is why. And you just see Edward Norton, you see Miles's face just drop because he had this whole plan for the whole weekend. To me, that was the turning point of the whole movie. And it changed it into a great thing. And then something we do need to talk about, and that is that middle section, the Act 2, where we go back in time, which to me was
the midpoint,
brilliant on so many damn levels. It was perfect.
Did you guys get that part when she was running Andy to Blanc, and he literally goes, Helen.
He calls her Helen, yeah.
And I'm like, whoa, what the fuck is going on? And then literally like, oh shit, we're seeing another fucking film here.
Yeah. And you had to have been happy, Jeremiah, throughout it give you a little bit of a Clue vibe when they're
it did.
At the
table
oh
my God, I was loving it.
Like, and it just who done it?
I was waiting for that.
And one of the things that I think Benoit Blanc is very dangerous to create a character like this, right? So Hercule Poirot is probably one of the most flamboyant detectives. Sherlock Holmes is a deducer of, cigar ash. You've got these great people in history who have solved crime. To introduce someone like Benoit Blanc, he's got to be different. And what I think makes him so much more different than Sherlock Holmes or Poirot is that he engages not just with the psychology like Poirot and not just with the evidence like Sherlock Holmes, but with the people. He actually gets to know the people involved and then uses their nature to solve the crime. And I think that's a totally unique and cool way to go about it.
Ed.
So this movie, I personally feel, I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but this movie made me want to go back to Knives Out.
Yeah.
Made me I feel like I didn't appreciate Knives Out enough. And then after watching this movie, I was like, okay, like I get this whole world now. What's his name?
Rian
The
Johnson.
detective.
Oh,
No,
Benoit
and
Blanc.
also the detective. Yeah, his whole idea. Like at first, the Knives Out, I wasn't for it, but now after watching this movie and going back to Knives Out, I get it a little bit more, and I enjoy it a lot better. I think they definitely help each other out, and I like this one more than Knives Out. I don't know if you guys are feeling the same. I personally like this one more than I like the Glass Onion. I felt like it just kept opening. It just kept opening up for me. There's so many different layers here. Go ahead.
One of the aspects of Knives Out that was so unique was that it introduced you to characters that were so flamboyant and over the top, and you've never had that before in a whodunit murder mystery. I mean, you had it kind of with Clue, right? Going back to
It's been some time.
It's been some time, and I really thought that what he did with Knives Out was take a whole genre and put it on its head, and it's so funny because he was a disruptor in that genre. Yeah. This movie was a follow-on to that. So it wasn't unique in that respect. What was unique about this one is that it took a storyline that could have been a very similar storyline to Knives Out, kept it kind of serious, kept it kind of, more linear. And then they kind of fuck with the timeline and fucked with the characters all over the place. And I thought that was successful. As far as one of the things that I did want to kind of point out is why the fuck did Rian Johnson do such a shitty job with Star Wars when he does two magnificent movies like this?
I had that thought too.
I agree.
Well, you guys said it. He's a disruptor, man. What do you want him to do, man? He fucking
Don't make it.
Bro,
he does disrupt.
Right. Just have the same fucking strip you have here, bro. Just put lightsabers in people's hands, bro. You're good.
I mean, Gareth Edwards, didn't he do Rogue One? That was disruptive. Do something like that shit.
Yep. Oh, well, the problem with Gareth, he didn't have Tony Gilroy to save his ass on that one, dude.
True.
I was going to say, the problem is that I just looked up Rian Johnson, and he's slated to do one of the prequels. He's doing one of the Star Wars prequels, so we're going to get him again.
Maybe it'll be better.
I cannot.
He's supposed to be doing another Knives Out movie. He's been attached to do a third one already. Yeah. So let me ask you guys a question. What type of story vibe that you want for the third story?
Personal. It's got to be personal to Benoit Blanc. So the only way that if this is going to be a trilogy that finishes out a Benoit Blanc story, I want a little bit of an origin story. I want someone to come back from his past. And what ideally I would like is for him to have solved
He wants Skyfall. Look at him.
No, I want him to solve a crime. I want him to solve a crime that is proven to be that he was wrong, that he's got to go back into his past and he's got to doubt who he is and come back and actually, become the Benoit Blanc that we know.
Brandon, what do you think, man?
I'm thinking it has to be something. Okay, so I'm going more like business, like a big business instead of a personal story. So Sean, I actually want to see your movie more than I want to see my movie, but I'm thinking more of like you know what I'm saying, it's not what's the fucking word, not entrepreneurial,
corporate,
not business, but corporate. Yes, a corporate like espionage. I think that would be the next
like
thing,
big business, like big oil, like big, like
something like that.
Eddie, what do you think?
Me?
Yeah.
Where was the first one taking place? Was that in the U.S.?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was kind of like a U.S. old mansion type of place.
So, wasn't it? Yeah.
I would like to see possibly like this is just a spitball, but like a play, like a Black Swan vibe to it, but with him, with it was a big show and it happened in front of a bunch of people and somebody got killed in front of a whole bunch of audience. And him having a big major murder that happened in front of everyone. I want to see like the top of the line. Somebody really got killed.
I see what you're saying.
And that's cool. Be top of the line. Like somebody got killed that he's really in charge of investigating this. I don't know. I like Sean's best though.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Jared, what you got?
I actually hope that Daniel Craig and Hugh Grant go on a mystery together or something like that. Like kind of like a Holmes and Watson type of vibe. I mean, that would be just fucking great. Where they're just both of them trying to work it out and everything like that, and trying to figure out the mystery and the murder or something. But just to have both of them banter off one another, I think that would be one of the funniest and great fucking
I love Hugh Grant,
and I can say Hugh Grant. Hugh Grant, if they do this, Hugh Grant has to be the least logical person ever. He has to believe everything.
Oh, that would be great.
He has to just full conspiracy theory with his little
I like
notebook.
it.
And Blanc has to explain every detail to him and shit like that.
That would be funny.
That would be fucking great.
I'm on board for.
Oh,
first of all, I'm on board for whatever they do. I was completely blown away. I thought this kind of, I don't know, it surprised me because I was not expecting a lot, and it kind of just the film hit me in a way that it tickled me. It freaking tickled me, and I don't get that much.
Do you guys give Edward Norton some props in this movie because he is
not aging? Go back, and if you really want to know why I believe Edward Norton doesn't get a lot of roles, is the roast of, I want to say, now I can't think of his name, John McClane, bald guy,
Bruce
Willis. The roast of Bruce Willis, and he gives a roast of Bruce Willis that is the most honest, hilarious, and just like it's so fucking true, because Edward Norton loves to indulge in his characters, and he's a very method actor, and he gets involved in it, and nobody wants to hire him, and they'll fucking hire Bruce Willis at 70 years old to jump off a plane and blow shit up, and he doesn't understand. And he really does give this like great recitation of why he doesn't get the roles that he wants, and furthermore, I think he's done some fantastic work, and it would ruin his career just to start doing bad shit. And I don't think he'll do that. I think he's very particular about the roles.
Yeah.
I mean, there's one movie that comes to mind, The Score. I don't know if anyone has seen that, but oh my goodness,
Robert De Niro.
I want to say Marlon Brando.
Italian Job.
But I would say that
great.
was even kind of more. That was more into his typecasting, where he's kind of the villainous behind the scenes guy.
Was he in the Kingdom of Heaven?
Kingdom of Heaven with Orlando.
Yes,
Bloom?
he was. Well, he was the leper. He was behind a mask. I don't think he was even credited. But he was fantastic in that.
Fucking guy.
Still, and I don't know. Tell me, did you get that vibe when he finally does the turn and he does the bad guy monologue? I had such a Tyler Durden feel to that.
Oh
moment.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
It was all him. Yeah.
Well, you can see his Fight Club picture in the background.
I kept seeing that. I was like, is this him? Fight Club? Is this? No way he has a picture of himself in Fight Club.
So supposedly that's Brad Pitt's body, and they painted his face on top of Brad Pitt's body. So technically,
I imagine him being
Tyler
a really cool guy. Like, I just imagine him being really funny and a cool guy to have a drink with. I don't know why.
Well, there's so many homages. This movie has so many homages to other film, other pop culture, other references. It just makes you it makes you enjoy cinema. You keep going back to these movies that could be great, that ruin it by, it's like Rian Johnson's like, nah, we're turning that off. We're making it funny. Everyone's just going to be funny, and we're going to rely on the humor.
I have a question. So I don't know if it was Sean that who do you guys think was the murderer? Like personally,
I thought it was Ed Norton
from the whole time. You didn't question it.
Yeah, because I'm like, okay, Ed Norton is. I thought what it was going to do. So I thought it was going to be something different. So when he invites them to his murder, I thought it was actually going to be like he was setting up his murder, like a suicide almost, that he was going to.
That's what I thought. Yeah,
bid adieu to the world. Then when I realized that that's not the case, that it was actually just a scam game, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to see where this goes. And then when what's his name, Batista dies, I realized at that point, it's got to be Ed Norton. It's got to be. I didn't know how, but I knew it had to be him.
But when Duke says, "Are we going to be able to talk to you?" and Ed Norton goes, "Yeah, I'm not going to be dead. You just can't ask me about the murder." I'm like, how is this going to work? Like,
yeah.
Once again, it was like, this is dumb. You're a dummy.
Yeah.
Jeremy, who did you think it was? Honest.
I honestly was kind of like just going with the flow with it. I thought everyone was going to try to kill him, actually. I thought it was going to be one of those type of things, though. They're all going to gang up. They're going to try to do the perfect murder type of situation. Just like,
Murder on the Orient Express.
Murder on the Orient Express. That's what I thought was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, you only get away with once. Like, and this was what was brilliant about Agatha Christie as a writer, is that she did that one time. There was never another time
Yeah, exactly.
where you got like multiple murderers, and it was like, I mean, Death on the Nile kind of had two, but not really. It had, like a plan, a plot. Anyone who wants to see that, I think it's on HBO Max. Fantastic movie. But I'm telling you right now, you only get away with this once. So next movie, you can't have Rian Johnson can't rely on the same trope that he relied on in 1 or 2. So now he's got to do a whole new one for 3, which is going to be hard. That's going to be a hard task.
I feel like this is the downfall of the easy, how you can just go back now with Netflix, right? Even DVD, you had to go like, oh, it's playing, I'm not going to rewind it or fast forward it. But when Miles said, oh, that's my drink, who's trying to kill me? Did anyone actually like pause, going back to this motherfucker? And I did. I was like, oh.
Did you?
No, he didn't.
No
yeah, he gave him the drink. It's you, Edward Norton.
Oh, you did?
Like,
okay.
The liar.
No.
I did.
Oh,
yes.
man.
I did rewind.
Wikipedia, man.
I did rewind it.
Like,
yeah.
this guy's a motherfucking liar.
Really?
No, I rewound it
No
with
way,
with the Helen character. So like I went back halfway through before the actual, I guess, Act 2 flashback, and I went back to when she first arrives on the island, and so I watched that again, and didn't learn anything new except for the fact that everybody was just surprised that she was there. So I think there are certain things that you can rewind and be just as in the dark the second time as you were in the first time, and I think that really marks a good storytelling vibe that Johnson was able to do.
I love how he was able to actually start the whole movie over again, and you see a completely different movie. And I love the part where Janelle just starts like breaking things up, and it's literally the same way how she's doing it is the same way how Miles was using the description of what disruptors are all about. It's like almost foreshadowing, bigger things, and then they're willing to break things, and then nobody doesn't want you to break something. And then she's like breaking small things to bigger things, and then she goes for painting. I thought that was really
and
cool.
I'll build off that for a moment, Jeremiah, before Brandon gets in there, is the idea of them turning on Miles was also started as a disruptor with her breaking the material in that room, which caused it just was this snowball into them realizing that yes, they can stand up to Miles too. There was a philosophical adjustment or disruption as well. Go ahead.
So this movie, unfortunately, tapered off for me. So I thought that the first part was Second part, where we get the flashback and we find out who Helen was and who, the sister connection and everything, thought that was fucking brilliant. When we find out that it's Miles, I wasn't super surprised, but at the same time, I was like, okay, that's great. Then we do need to talk about this, and I want to see what you guys think about it. But when she gets shot, of course, they pull the old school, the book blocked the bullet. That one pissed me off, like actually made me upset that that's where they went. And then for me, the ending, it didn't land. I get what you're saying about them disrupting and she's kind of leading the charge against Miles. I thought that was cool. But the fact that they blow up the entire house and they burn the Mona Lisa, which to me, the Mona Lisa, I know Sean has this love of the Statue of David. For me, seeing the Mona Lisa was literally life-changing. Like Mona Lisa, I know this is stupid and childish, but that was like a life-changing moment. Seeing her seeing her destroyed pissed me off and gave me was like, well, I need to get drunk now at this point just to make this okay. But no, the big thing for me was when the book caught the bullet, it just pissed me off. I want to see your thoughts on that.
Okay, so I didn't really have a problem with it whatsoever. I thought it was just like, okay, this is how it's going to go. I'm going with the flow with this movie. I have no expectation with this movie. And then I'm like, okay, so she does survive. This is interesting. Foreshadowing of a lot of things that what kind of Miles was talking about, where, the quote is, are you willing to break things that nobody doesn't want you to break? And then she literally does exactly what he says in the fucking end of the movie, which is great. So I didn't have a problem with it, man.
I'll go next with that one. I wish it would. I know personally that type of gun, that's gonna go right through that damn book. Like that's not gonna happen. Like that's too strong of a gun. That's not realistic. That part just made me feel like you messed up. I wish it would have been like if Daniel Craig, his character, would have told Andy wear vests. Some type of a vest, like a bulletproof vest would have been cool. Like, this whole time, secretly, she has a nice little vest on, or maybe like her jacket, it's like a specially made, like, I don't know, like a bulletproof vest. Something bulletproof vest would have been made more believable than the fucking book, in my opinion.
So, I almost, I'm with Brandon. I'm not a huge fan of the bullet book trope that seems to be so popular. It seems to be so popular. What I would have done is have her gotten shot. Have her gotten shot and have her just blimped along until the end. There's no reason why she couldn't have bound the wound or just gotten shot in the arm, or you could have used something else. It didn't have to be the book. That's just my opinion. I mean, it's Edward Norton. He's also an idiot. Wouldn't it track that he also couldn't shoot? I mean, for fuck's sake.
I mean, he did have like the napkin, and he never thought of just like ripping it up and throwing it away. He just kept it. I mean, it makes no fucking sense, but he is an idiot, so it does make sense at the end of the story.
I mean, the story doesn't make sense without that. I mean, and at the end, he did burn it, I guess you could say.
Yeah, a day late.
$1 short.
Shitballs.
Hallaberry, I'm hot.
Shitballs.
Go ahead, Jared.
That brings us to the end of review. Now it's time in the podcast where each of the hosts provides a score on the following scale. Eddie, can you provide the scale, please?
I certainly can. Well, thank you very much. 0, the perfect movie. You don't need shit to enjoy it. 1, a feel-good first cocktail. 2, a happy buzz. 3, in an Uber or lifting home. 4, rough morning walk of shame. 5, blacked out, shit-faced, spring break drunk. Gentlemen, let's start with Sean.
Absolutely. So I really enjoyed this movie. It gives me hope in movies to come. It was unique. It was fresh. It was different. I love a whodunit. A whodunit is my favorite type of story. I just went back and watched The Thin Man from 1930. X. I don't remember exactly what it was. I want them to remake that so bad. This is the type of movie that to me shows a director's caliber, and Rian Johnson has proven that he is a good director. Not only did he do Knives Out, but he also followed it up with a very good sequel, probably as good, if not better, than the first. I think that's a personal opinion, but nobody can argue that one was drastically worse than the other. For me, was it a perfect movie? No. Daniel Craig was charming and wonderful. I thought some of the other characters, I kind of agree with Brandon. Bautista was okay. I thought Catherine Hahn was particularly funny, but I've seen her be better. And that's a shame because I think she's a magnificently funny actress. I thought the cast was fantastic. Overall, the music was good. The visuals were good. I'm going to give it a 1. I think this was a really good movie. It's a feel-good first cocktail to me. If I were to rate Knives Out, it would probably be right around the same score. So I'm going to go with a 1. Feel good first cocktail. Jeremiah.
I love mystery movies and thrillers. I mean, my favorite type of movies are the ones that you can watch one movie and watch it over again and see a whole different type of movie. That's just my fucking bread and butter, like Clue and like Knives Out, The Thing. You see a whole different movie, and the movie is just, it's a better movie when you watch it for the second time around. And the movie is just an awesome rewatch because you can see all the details, the Easter eggs, the things that are coming front and center. It makes like the viewing just so fucking worth it. I love the shit out of it. I think the cast is great. I think especially Craig Norton and definitely Monet. She was a fucking rock star in this movie, man. She just had a caliber on her that was totally different. The whole cast was fucking great. The writing was cool. And Rian Johnson doesn't get that much credit, man. I think he's kind of has a scarlet letter on him because of Last Jedi,
We done fucked the boots, Jeremiah.
I don't know if he's ever going to get over that one here, but Jesus, as long as he keeps doing these movies and, focusing on Knives Out, Looper, Brick, these are some great fucking movies that you should be watching over and over again. But this movie, I like Glass Onion just as much as I like Knives Out for me, but I like Knives Out just a little better. So this is a 1.25 for me, guys. I really enjoyed this movie. Eddie.
So I love these type of movies as well. Like I like Clue was a little favorite when I was, that age. I could go back to Clue and I'm always going to enjoy that type of, I always forget who's done it when I rewatch that movie. It always catches me. And I think years to come, I think that's how these movies are going to be seen. I think Who's Done It is a cool little vibe. I think it goes back to that show with Selena Gomez and Steve Martin. I know, Brandon, you
Only Murders in the Building.
Only Murders in the Building.
Yeah, I get the same vibe with that show, with these movies. But this is how it's supposed to be done. It's a new day and age of Clue. I definitely enjoyed this movie better than Knives Out, but Knives Out is equally as good. I agree with what Sean said, but I enjoyed this one better. I feel like you have Edward Norton and Daniel Craig really stood out, and then you have Monet. Those three are your leading actors and actresses, and then you had good supporting roles from Kate Hudson and Catherine and David Batista. Yeah, and then I think we even talked about the girlfriend who I think it was Madeline Klein. She was good, and then the assistant,
Whiskey.
yeah, Whiskey.
Oh,
I like
the assistant was funny as shit, man.
the assistant was funny as shit. Yeah, Pam, or Peg. It was a Peg.
Peg, yeah, Peg.
Yeah. So I mean, there was just a lot of good supporting actors in this movie. I kept thinking it was the assistant or it was the girlfriend. But I mean and then I just flipped me around this whole time, and then I enjoyed just a whole little puns here and there, and then the movie overall. I will definitely watch this a movie. Is this a great movie? No. Is it? It's better than an average movie. Personally, I enjoyed it. I think you're gonna enjoy it if you watch it. I think go out and see it. I'm personally gonna give this a 2, though. I think it falls in my realm of a 2, which is better than average movie for me. That's a happy buzz. So 2.5 for me would have been an average movie. This is better than an average movie for me. So Brandon, finish off.
Well
it,
said, Ed. I'm kind of worried because Eddie and I seem to be matching up a lot more lately. So I feel like we need to have a device.
Sorry.
You guys have been
John
so
Carpenter or
cute for the
something.
past
I know.
couple episodes.
I just wanna hold
Can
your
we
hand,
throw
Ed.
Halloween in there? Something?
Oh, fuck you.
I love you.
All right. So this movie was a real roller coaster for me. And I mean that seriously because there was a lot of ups and downs. I started off, like we talked about, and I was just kind of down. I was like, this is stupid, the whole box thing. It was supposed to be cute and clever and cool, they're all working together. But to me, I rolled my eyes at it. And then they get to the island and things start to pick up, and then it kind of goes down a little bit. And then all of a sudden we get the flashback. And to me, that turned the whole movie on its head, and I was genuinely excited about it. And then the fucking bullet in the Bible, that one pissed me off. And it really, I know you can't, say a story is ruined by one single aspect, but it definitely took me out of the moment. And then, the whole incinerate the entire mansion and, prove that the clear is not quite clear. It just kind of left me on a sour note. I think it's a good movie. I don't think it comes near the quality of Knives Out, but what I love about it is Daniel Craig. We talked a little bit about Daniel Craig, but for me, I love watching anybody who enjoys their profession. When you see somebody doing something that they do and enjoying the fucking shit out of it, then that just makes me smile. Like, I watch Daniel Craig and I'm like, this guy's having the fucking time of his life. He's doing this because he wants to do it, and he's just fucking funny, right? Take out the fact that he's James Bond. Take out the fact that he's starred in some of the most serious and depressing movies out there. He's just fucking having fun, and it makes me that have that infectious kind of fun atmosphere too. What bothered me is that that they didn't just play more into that, and I really think that the ending copped out in a lot of ways. I think that Rian Johnson could have come up with something a little bit more clever. I think Knives Out was that clever that Rian Johnson shows us that he has. And so for me, it's a 2. I was going to go 2.25, but you guys actually talked me down from it. So I'm going to go with a 2. I think it's a good movie. It's a fun movie. Yeah, I'll watch it again, but I'm not going to go put that on over Knives Out.
There you go.
And when you put those scores together, Ed, what do we have?
Yeah, hold on. I'm sorry. I'm unmuting.
When we put the scores together and divide by 4.
When we combine the scores, Eddie, and divide by 4. What does Glass Onion get an average rating of?
I really thought Brandon's like, shit, is this my role? Did he give it to me? Am I supposed to say something?
I'm writing the script now.
Yeah, so we get a 1.5625.
And Jeremiah, where does that put us on the list?
1.5625.
Where does that put us on the list?
It's a pretty good one.
We've reviewed.
Okay, so it's number 17th in our list.
17. What is better?
Sorry.
What is better than
Number 18.
number 18? What is
19,
better than?
It's right between Pirates of the Caribbean and also Skyfall.
Is it by itself?
It's by itself. This is a by yourself type of
I
score.
want to know who
guys.
screwed up Skyfall because that
What's below Skyfall?
Skyfall's better than this movie.
Okay, so Skyfall, Ready Player One, Psycho, Silence of the Lambs, and Galaxy Quest are all 1.625. this movie's better than all those movies.
No.
So
this movie's not better than any of those.
Skyfall's where it's
Wait.
supposed to be at. This is the one that got a little high.
Rescore. No. Oh, well. All right. If you enjoy our review or a fan of the podcast, we ask that you please subscribe wherever you're listening. Leave us a 5-star review on iTunes. You can find us on Instagram at the.gentlemanpodcast. The dot means a lot. You can visit our website, thegentlemanpodcast.com. Or if you want to reach out to us, you can do so by email at hosts with an SHOSTS at thegentlemanpodcast.com. Once again, we will be diving into season 4 of our regularly scheduled podcast here quite shortly, Jeremiah. Do we know what movie we've got coming up?
Well, we're going to be doing focusing on directors next month for season 4. And the first movie that we're going to be doing for our season 4 is Avatar. Not the one in the theaters, the original one. Avatar. This is Sean's pick.
OG.
Struggle.
All right. Well, cheers, gentlemen.
God.
And we'll see you. I guess we'll see you next week, sure?
We'll see you next week, everyone. Again,
Happy
thank
New
you so
Year.
much for supporting us, and thank you so much for listening to us. And please share us with your friends. It goes a very long ways. Trust me on that, guys. Thank you.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.